Happy New Year and welcome to, or welcome back to, Dear Jordan, Letters to My Daughter. When I first started this series back in early 2023, it wasn't a podcast in the way people usually think of podcast. It was something much quieter, much more personal. It wasn't a platform, it wasn't a message to the world, and it certainly wasn't activism. It was simply a mother writing to her daughter. I started these letters because I wanted to give my daughter the kind of emotional context I didn't always have growing up. The kind that helps you make sense of life instead of having to survive it blindly. When I published my first episode, I was still very much in the middle of things, still navigating trauma, still trying to understand how to be a good mother, while also figuring out who I was becoming. It very much sounded like I was bleeding out loud, so I stopped. I tried to find another way to express what I had learned. That's where her resilient voice came in. It was my attempt to speak in broader terms, to talk about growth, survival, and strength without making things too personal. But something about it never sat quite right. My podcast was always meant to be one mother speaking directly to her child, sharing lessons learned through experience. So now I'm returning to this space with clarity, not to rehash the past and not to speak from a place of fear or defense, but to continue what I started, with intention, with care. So grab yourself a cup of coffee and let's begin again. Dear Jordan, as I share these letters with you, I want to tell you the real motivation behind them. Because letters like these don't just appear out of thin air. They come from a history, from a girl who grew up without guidance, without motherly preparation, without conversations that could have saved her years of unnecessary pain. Growing up, motherly advice wasn't something that floated around my household like warm air. It wasn't handed over in kitchen talks, or whispered in private moments, or taught through stories of what to do or what not to do. My family, and honestly, the culture around us, was very much figure it out. And while figuring things out on your own can build independence, strength, and personality, it can also build scars you didn't need to carry, pain you didn't need to experience, and traumas you didn't need to earn. If there had been transparency between my mother and me, if she had shared the truth of her choices, her mistakes, her heartbreaks, her lessons, it could have saved me from a lot of the messes I walked into blindly. But she didn't share, not because she didn't love me, but what I learned as an adult, and I'm talking about a 40-year-old adult, was that she did not share because she was embarrassed. She didn't want to reveal the parts of her life that weren't picture perfect. She didn't want to admit she struggled, or that she may have chosen wrong, or that she may have endured hurt she didn't want us to know about. So she hid the quote-unquote negative parts, leaving me, a child, to fill in the blanks using my imagination and my assumptions and my lack of experience. And let me tell you, imagination is not a reliable teacher. Experience is, but experience can be brutal. I don't want brutal for you. Truth is, I will never share every single detail of my life. Some things are too traumatic, too heavy, and too unnecessary for you to carry. But I will share the lessons that came from such trauma, the wisdom I gained through it, the clarity I received after it, the truth I earned the hard way. Because my job as your mother isn't to present perfection, it's to prepare you. And I need you to know something clearly. I am not perfect. I never want you to think that I am. I never want you to look at me as someone who always got it right. And maybe that's why all of it hit me the way it did, because I didn't learn these lessons in safe or gentle ways. I learned them through trial, error, heartbreak, and rebuilding. I learned them because life didn't give me much of a choice. And I'm still learning every single day. I've always been an introvert, and that shaped everything. People felt loud, unpredictable, emotionally overwhelming. So I learned early on that solitude felt safer. Not because I didn't want connection, but because I didn't yet know how to navigate people without losing pieces of myself in the process. Being alone felt like control. It felt like protection. And for a long time, it was the only way I knew how to survive. And now here I am, a mother of 4. And let me tell you something funny. Being a loner is no longer an option. Children do not respect introversion. They do not care about your need for silence, your need to recharge, your need for distance. They want snacks, answers, attention, hugs, and explanations that you don't even have. But being a mama to 4 kids doesn't mean I'm doing it perfectly either. It just means I'm trying every day. And each one of you is different, with your own personality, your own temperament, your own needs. Like I can't take what I learned through raising your brothers and automatically apply it to you. You are not them. Your journey isn't theirs. Your spirit isn't theirs. Your challenges aren't theirs. People sometimes ask me, why do you write letters only to Jordan when you have 4 children? And the answer is simple. You are my only daughter. When I found out I was pregnant with you, I was scared, deeply scared. Not because I didn't want you, but because I didn't think I was ready to be the kind of example a daughter needs. At the time, I was going through so much, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. I was questioning my choices, my identity, my voice, my strength, my future, and suddenly the idea of having a girl, someone who would look to me to know how to be a woman, how to make decisions, how to stand alone, how to carry herself, how to choose love, felt like the heaviest responsibility I'd ever faced. Having you meant I had to hold myself accountable for the things I had allowed in my own life, things I never wanted you to experience. It sounds dramatic, but it's the truth. My goal became guiding you to be better than me. Not perfect, not flawless, not pressured, but better. Better informed, better prepared, better supported, better loved, better grounded in God, better at knowing your worth, better at recognizing red flags, better at protecting your heart, better at choosing yourself. I learned a lot about myself in the process, and these letters exist so you never have to guess who your mother is, what she lived through, or what she hopes for you. They exist so you never have to fill in the blanks with your imagination the way I had to. They exist so you never walk into life unprepared, unprotected, or unaware. Most of all, Jordan, they exist because you are my daughter, and you deserve a mother who told you the truth, not one who hides behind the illusion of perfection. I say all of these things with all the love I'm still learning how to give. Sincerely, your mom. Thank you for sitting with me on this one. These letters were never meant to sound like advice from a distance. They're really just conversations I wish I'd been able to have, the kind that happened late at night when everything is finally quiet and you're brave enough to tell the truth. This space exists because I didn't always have someone to talk things through with. And maybe you don't either. Maybe you're listening because something in your life feels heavy, confusing, or unfinished, and you needed to hear that you're not the only one carrying questions like that. If at any point you feel like you want to talk things through more personally, you can find information in the notes about how to reach me. No pressure, no fixing, just a real conversation if and when you're ready. Until next time, take care of yourself and remember, you don't have to sort everything out all at once. Thanks again for joining me on Dear Jordan, Letters to My Daughter. I look forward to you joining me next week.